Hi, my name is Domingo. I'm in Management 16, Personal Ethics at Work, on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 10:50 a.m. The prompt for this video is to report on the code of conduct of my chosen company, which was Apple. So I have read the code of conduct of Apple, and this is what it tells me about the company. After reading it, I think the document tells us a lot about how Apple wants to present itself both internally and publicly. One of the first things I noticed is that Apple places a huge emphasis on integrity and ethical behavior. Throughout the policy, they repeatedly mention honesty, respect, confidentiality, and following the law. The company clearly wants employees to understand that their actions reflect directly on Apple's reputation. It almost reads like Apple sees its brand as something fragile but extremely valuable, like kind of like glass. So they know that every employee has to do their part. And another major theme in the code of conduct was confidentiality, and this stood out to me because Apple is known for being extremely secretive about the products they're gonna release and internal projects. And their culture around privacy is not just about customers, but also about protecting innovation and company information. So I think this connects strongly to Apple's identity as a technology company where surprise product launches and intellectual property are part of their competitive advantage. I also noticed that Apple talks a lot about respect and inclusion in the workplace. The policy states that employees should treat each other professionally and avoid discrimination and harassment. This tells me that Apple wants to create an environment where employees from different backgrounds can work together effectively. Whether every large company perfectly lives up to those values is debatable, but including these standards in the policy shows what Apple wants employees to strive towards. And another interesting part of the code of conduct was the section about reporting misconduct, because Apple encourages employees to speak up if they see unethical behavior and says there will not be retaliation against workers who report concerns honestly. I think this is important because many unethical corporate situations happen when employees are afraid to say something. At the same time, I think it's important to compare the code of conduct with Apple's real-world reputation, because Apple is admired for innovation, quality, and customer loyalty, but the company has also faced criticism over labor conditions in overseas factories and concerns about anti-competitive business practices. Because of that, reading the code of conduct becomes more interesting. It shows the ideal version of what the company wants to be, but it also makes us question how difficult it is for global corporations to fully live up to those standards in practice. Overall, Apple's code of conduct tells me that the company values integrity, secrecy, professionalism, and protecting its reputation. The document feels very polished and carefully written, which matches Apple's overall brand image. After reading it, I think Apple wants employees to understand that ethical behavior is not optional, but part of maintaining the company's identity and success.